Right, okay my friends, in today's vlog, interesting one for you because we are driving to the Lake District. Now, I was going to film driving from Skegness, however, it was dark when I was driving from Skegness, when I was leaving Skegness, so I thought I won't bother doing that. What I'll do is I'll just drive straight from Mansfield. Now, I haven't charged my car because I've got the charger at the office, but it's too slow. It would have took too long, so I literally got there about an hour ago, just had time to have a quick shower and jump in the car, so it would have only given me about 3 or 4% of charge. So I thought to myself, right, what I'll do is I'll nip down to the local charger here, a public charger near the pub, and then what I'll do is I'll charge up there. That'll give me a quicker charge, and then I'll get on my way up to the Lake District, which is about 169 miles. And it's interesting because when we get to the end of the road, well, the end of the road, it's kind of the end of the road for electric cars, as I've been reading, because it actually says sales of electric cars have plummeted along with Tesla. So Tesla owners, I can hear you, should have bought a Tesla. Well, I shouldn't have bought a Tesla because the Tesla stock price has plummeted too because of the sales of electric cars. Anyway, we're going to charge up here. It is Osprey, which is it's 50 kilowatt. That's not very fast. Right, okay, should have done my research, should have planned my journey. Is that right? That's a bit slow. I need I need one faster than that. Right, I tell you what, I'm gonna have to find a faster one because I need 150 kilowatt because I need to get up there. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. Do give it a thumbs up because it will push this video out to YouTube and educate the rest of the world not to buy an electric car, because it will be the biggest mistake of their lives, in my opinion. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go. God blimey, the water back there and the potholes. Have you noticed that the potholes in the roads are getting worse and worse than they've actually ever been? And it does pose that question a little bit, doesn't it? Now, I know the evangelists will go, oh dear. I've thought to myself, I've never seen potholes this bad. I wonder if it's anything to do with the fact that there's more electric cars on the road and they're heavier, ripping the roads apart. Electric cars that aren't paying any road tax at the moment as well, by the way. Interesting, isn't it? Anyway, I've been reading lots of different news stories. I'll go through what mileage I've got left in a moment as well. Lots of different news stories about electric cars at the moment. Tesla sales have plummeted. BYD sales have plummeted. That stands for burn your driveway, I think, doesn't it? Their sales have plummeted. I think people are finally waking up to the realization that they're being sold magic beans. Come and exchange your petrol or diesel car for these magic beans, electric cars. And I think people are finally waking up. And it's interesting because I was reading lots of different, I read all the news about electric cars to keep up to speed on it, no pun intended. And it's interesting because I'm now charging looking for a public charger, and I'm going to pay more VAT on charging up, because if I'd have charged at home, the rate of VAT, a lot of people will know this, a lot of people won't, the rate of VAT is less on your energy, isn't it? So for charging at home, you're going to pay less VAT. Charging out on public charges, you're going to pay more VAT, which is 20% in the UK. Now, I know business users can claim that back, but people who use it for personal use can't claim it back. I believe, correct me in the comment section down below, that they can claim 100% of that VAT back. But general Joe Blogs on the street who doesn't have a company can't. They just have to take it on the chin. So there's a lot of things really that come into force there that I've been looking into. And also I've read somewhere that if everybody goes electric and we all have electric cars, then eventually the governments and the energy companies are going to bring into force some kind of system where they know if you're charging your electric car at home or not, and charge you a higher rate so that the government can tax you on it. Now, I can't verify that, and it's just speculation. However, if we look at what the government has done in the past, come and get an electric car. There's no road tax. Road tax is exempt for electric cars. Oh, actually, road tax now we're going to bring into force now. People's got electric cars. We're now going to start giving road tax out, and you're going to have to pay tax on your electric car. So they dangle a carrot in front of you. Look at that. Come and get an electric car. Oh, got you. You see, and it's going to be the same thing, and it will be the same thing again with road charging also. So kind of interesting. Anyway, that's all speculation, but we know it'll probably come true where the government's concerned. 42% of battery, 104 miles of range, and we've got 165 miles to the south of the Lake District. So I'm going to try and find a faster charger, but I want to find one where I can have a coffee as well, because it's morning. I like a coffee, and then we can get on our way. But I do need a faster charger. 50 kilowatt is not fast enough. I need at least probably 150 kilowatt, and then we can get on our way. And that's what we need. That's the thing with electric car chargers as well. You've got all these different charging speeds and charging rates. And then, as I said before, when I've charged at, I think it was Gretna Green or Scotch Corner on one of my videos, and I had to unplug my car from charging because there wasn't enough power in the grid to power the other, because there were 4 chargers in total. There wasn't enough power in the grid to give to all them chargers. It's madness, isn't it? I think people are waking up. Anyway, it's going to be interesting. Join me on the journey up to the Lake District. Hopefully the weather will pick up a little bit. It's April when we're recording this. April showers, hopefully. The heavy showers, because the roads are flooded. Anyway, come on. Onwards, my friends. Actually, I tell a lie. I actually only have 41% of battery left and 85 miles, because when I was talking to you before, I turned the climate control off because it makes a noise on the camera. So I turned that off. So when I've turned it back on again, because it's cold, I've got 85 miles and 41% of battery. So yeah, as I've said before, the heating system and things in the car take a lot of power. Be interesting, wouldn't it, if you're actually stuck in may a snowstorm or something, in a traffic jam, and then you're using all your power up to keep warm, and then when you're ready to go and you're ready to move and people have dug you out, you can't go anywhere because you've got no power and charge in your car. These things are, I reckon they could be dangerous. I'm sure I read somewhere that in Germany there was a report where there was a snowstorm and people were stuck in a blizzard and they were having to remove all the electric cars off the road. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere in the news, and all the electric cars had ran out of battery trying to keep warm, and all the petrol and diesel cars just went along their way. Crazy, isn't it? Let me know in the comment section whether you saw that story, and if you did, pop a link in the description in the comment section, and I can have a look at that. I think it withholds links, but I can release them, so just pop it in there and I'll be able to have a read of it, and other people will as well. Right, Okay, so I reckon I think we're going to pass Woolly Edge services, which have got grid serve chargers, which are not the cheapest, but do you know what? None of them are particularly cheap. They're all around about 85p per kilowatt, and that's just to start with, by the way. Don't forget, if more and more people have electric cars, the price of charging your electric car up is going to be astronomical eventually, because they're going to, it's supply and demand, isn't it? So the more people that have electric cars, the more these energy companies and these car charging companies are going to charge. Grid serve at the moment, what, 85p roughly? We'll see when we get there. 85p, that's going to be over £1, isn't it, within another year? We can guarantee that virtually. So owning an electric car is going to be, well, basically only for the rich and the well-off. But Joe Bloggs on the street isn't really going to be able to afford to run one. You know, and it makes me think, as the human race, we're supposed to evolve, we're supposed to learn by our mistakes, and yet we're not learning by our mistakes with electric cars, because the government tell us to get electric cars and we go, oh, okay, then that must be it must be the future.
Ahead lies the Arctic shore, and beyond, the sea. And still the little animals surge forward. Their frenzy takes them tumbling down the terraced cliffs, creating tiny avalanches of sliding soil and rocks, and seemingly indestructible lemmings.
We must have electric cars. Oh, hey, and Rita, guess what? What? There's no road tax if we get an electric car, and it's cheaper if we charge it at home. Ooh, is it, Derek? Yeah. Oh, let's get one then. Okay then. Oh, Rita, road tax comes into force next year for electric cars. Oh, right. Okay then. Oh, well, at least we had a couple of years free, didn't we? We're not learning by our mistakes, that the governments just tell us lies, don't they, basically? You know, like, get a diesel car, you know, it's cheaper if you get a diesel, we'll give you tax benefits. Oh, actually, diesel's bad for the environment.
And the truth shall set you free!
We now you can now start claiming, you know, Dieselgate. It's crackers, isn't it? Maybe we are waking up. Maybe people are waking up to the fact that electric cars are a scam. Maybe we're waking up, you know. Maybe it is the end. I'll read you the news story when we pull over. I'll get a coffee. I think it's Costa or Starbucks, or none. And anyway, let's get charged up and get on our way. It's raining here. I wonder what it's going to be like at the Lake District. That's why it's green. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous part of the country. No, actually, sorry, I take that back. Because the powers that be, the government, the councils, they know what they're talking about. I mean, for instance, they came up with a brilliant idea of smart motorways where, oh, no, sorry. Oh, no, they're taking smart motorways out now. That's why we're down to 50 mile an hour here, because they're putting lay-bys in and putting another lane back in because they were dangerous. Okay, scratch that one. Just forget that one. All right then, what about the idea, a brilliant idea that they had of 60 mile an hour speed limit because of air quality when you go through to Sheffield? Oh no, sorry, hang on, no, sorry, they removed that because they found out that it actually wasn't better for air quality. It was actually worse for air quality to slow down to 50 mile an hour. Scratch, you know what, forget it, let's just ignore, shall I cut this section out maybe? That's, there's a pattern there, isn't there? You know, I've said time and time again on these videos about I think that electric cars are all about control. And I've actually seen in the comment section people are like, oh, you've got a silver tinfoil hat. You're talking rubbish, you know, of course it's not all about control. You don't know what you're talking about. You've lost the plot. But look at this, right? Okay, so I'm saying it's all about control, because once everybody's in electric cars, they'll change the congestion charges in London and the low emission charges in London to road charges, so you pay per mile, and that'll go across the board, right across the world. If everybody has electric cars, they'll know exactly where you're going, they'll know exactly what you're doing. You can't pay cash to charge your electric car up. You have to pay contactless. You can't even put your credit card in. You have to pay contactless payment to charge your car, so they know exactly where you're charging and how much you've spent and what you've done. So that's not about control, is it? Surely. And it's literally going that way. The whole world is all going so that they control you. And I may sound like I'm losing the plot. I'm going to overtake this bus. It's throwing up a load of stuff. I hope it's not an electric bus. I better move away if it is. Don't want to set on fire. But look up in Scotland at the moment as well. You can't call your... I was reading this story and apparently it's law. Correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently it's law in Scotland. If I go up to somebody and say, you're a prat for buying an electric car, and I tell you what, you take the mickey. Anybody who buys an electric car is a dogger and a swinger and smells of pee. Apparently, I can be then put in prison for up to 7 years because I can't say anything. Literally all about control again. It's all about control. Look at Sadiq Khan. Khan, is that his name? Sadiq Khan? Sadiq Khan? Sadiq Khan, is that how you pronounce it? Look at him with his cameras everywhere and facial recognition, and there's even cameras now that can tell whether you've got your seatbelt on, whether you're on a mobile phone. I mean, you've got Cycling Mikey for that anyway. We don't need cameras, do we? I don't know whether you've seen him on what is it, that thing you flick up, TikTok or whatever. It's crackers. All about control, and it's only going to get worse. Turn this air conditioning off. How would you feel if, for instance, you've got your electric car, you're all happy, right? But you've done too many miles this month, so you're going to get punished. They're going to switch your electric car off. Oh, Rita, what? Well, we can't do any more miles this week. We've reached the limit because we've reached our carbon footprint this time. We've reached the amount of miles that we can do, so they switch your car off. Oh, okay then. Or they switch your credit limit off, they switch your card off because you can't spend any money on your card. It is going that way, in my opinion. I have to say, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I have to say that, because you can't have an opinion. You can't have, well, you can have an opinion, but sometimes you can't have an opinion. It's getting so that you can't have an opinion, but it is just my opinion. I don't know what you think. Let me know. Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm crazy.
You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
Call me crackers, but it's going that way, isn't it? Everything about control. Subscription basis on everything. Everything subscription. BMW have subscription for heated seats, I read somewhere. That's nuts. And they can take it off you. Like, for instance, in this car, I've said before, I took it back for a service and a software update, and I had the comfort opening where you walk up to the car and the handles open, which I found quite handy, really. When I was carrying stuff, the door handles opened. I didn't have to unlock my car. They took it off me on the software update, but said, well, you can have it back for, I think it was 1,200 quid or something, or 1,500 quid. You can stuff it. I'm not doing that. it was already on my car. And they went, but it was put on by accident. It shouldn't have been on the car. Now, I'm sure it's weird. It's like if you bought a coat, for instance, and you got a zip-on hood, right? And then they came along, Georgia Asda or whatever, somebody from Georgia Asda come along, right? And goes, oh, we're having that hood back. Why? Oh, that was extra. It was another £3. Yeah, but I've had it for like a year. Yeah, I know, but we shouldn't have sold it to you. It's ours. You can buy it back there if you want. That's how crackers it is, isn't it? It's nuts. They can take stuff away from you. Software as well, for instance. I use software on my computer. Final Cut Pro at the moment that I use, you buy and that's it. I guarantee it'll go subscription based eventually. But I had Adobe Premiere, I had Adobe Photoshop, I had Adobe InDesign. That's all subscription based because they've got you and you have to keep paying and paying and paying. And that's the way things are going. And with cars, it's not right, is it? It ain't right. Eon van in front there. Eon, my next van will be 100% electric. Right, I can see electric bills going up even more then, because they're not going to get any work done. I've seen a couple of vans, BT guy who I spoke to in a previous video, who was sat in McDonald's waiting for his van to charge, and he said he has to do it 2 or 3 times a day. And I said, what do you reckon to that? And he went, it's great, I can drink coffee. He had I think he had an apple pie or something. He says, and eat my apple pie and just sit here and read the paper. So these companies are going to be paying their employees to sit there charging the cars. Who do you think is going to end up paying for that? See on the side of the van there, on the Eon van, on our way to reaching zero carbon, net zero. How long do you reckon it'll be? Call me crazy again. Before they stop you flying, before only the elite can fly to climate summits and things like that, rather than using Skype. How long before they stop you and me from flying? Oh, you've only got so many credits left now. You can't fly anymore. You've done your flight miles and you've done your miles for the year. How long before that happens? When you can't go on your holiday to Mallorca or Tenerife or whatever because you've used up all your credits. Think about that. Or am I crazy? How long before I can't tell you that electric cars don't work and they're a stupid idea, they're a silly idea and it'll never work? And my experience has been that they are an absolute nightmare. They cost more money to run in the long run, well, to start with, because of the price of them. They're not cheaper than petrol or diesel, and they're no better for the environment, really, if you think about it. How long before I can't say that to you because I'm not allowed? You know, call me crazy, call me nuts. Or if you think I'm not nuts and you actually agree with me, do me a favour and do hit the thumbs up to push this video out. It helps me out, it helps other people out, and also hit the subscribe button if you're not already. Hey, I've even seen now that they've got, it's not funny really at all, in fact it's really serious. They've got electric ambulances being brought in now, right? Can you imagine that, right? Your wife, she's just had a heart attack. She's being wheeled into the ambulance and the husband's there. Oh, what are the chances? Please tell me what are the chances? And the paramedic's going, oh, it's not looking good. Oh no, it's shot a, is it a ticker? Is it not going to last? No, we're just looking, and the two charging points along the way, well, they're taken up, and we're down to 15%. I'm not sure whether we're going to make it. Oh, right. Well, will my wife make it? Yeah, your wife will make it if the ambulance can make it, but if the ambulance can't make it, your wife, she's gone. It's done. That's it. We can't even give her any, flatlining because there's no power from the electric in the ambulance. Who's thinking all this? Absolutely crazy. It's beyond belief, isn't it? Really, ambulances with electric ambulances. What, electric fire engines next? Well, I suppose if they set on fire, then the firefighters are already there, aren't they? They can put it out. Well, actually, they can't put it out, can they? Because they can't put electric car fires out, and electric bus fire, they take ages, don't they? Who thought this out? I'd love to put the person in front of me who thought out that electric vehicles were a good idea. He's obviously a very rich man and just laughing now. It's got to be a man. It can't have been a woman who thought up that electric vehicles were a good idea, because she'd have gone, no, hang on, this is not going to work. It's got to be a bloke. Only a bloke would be daft enough to think of that. Hey, I got a text yesterday off my mate in Australia who was on one of the videos, and he said to me, oh, have a look at this news story. And it's a story about chargers that have been installed, and I think there's 2 or 3 places that chargers have been installed that I know of anyway, where they're actually powered by diesel generators. One of them's in Australia, I think, and I'll read you the news story when I've pulled over. One of them's in Australia, I think, and one of them's in Ireland or something. And they've put chargers in, but permanent chargers, but with diesel generators. What is going on? We've lost the plot, haven't we? We really have. We've lost the plot. So you're powering your electric car, really, by diesel. Why don't you just cut out the middleman, get rid of the electric chargers, and just put diesel in your car? It's it's laughable, isn't it? And yet we're taking all this in. Oh dear. It's great to have to wake up and have your eyes open and listen to me while I'm able to tell you about electric cars being an absolute joke and a scam, in my opinion, of course. But what do I know? I've only had one for 2.5 years. Right, milk float off. It's 24%, 54 miles of range. It's now 8:15 in the morning. There is a guy with a Tesla charging up there. and somebody pulling in with a Peugeot next to me. I always feel like I've got a target on my car because I make these videos and the evangelists kind of know who I am off of YouTube, and I feel like that one day they're going to come up to me and taser me or something. Right, let's go and charge this thing up. He's getting back in his car. Why is a Tesla driver charging on a grid serve network? Can you listen? If there is a Tesla driver, oh, he's going now. He was messing around. Oh no, he's changing over to another charger because it's not working. Oh dear, let's get this charged. Come on. Right, so it's 79p per kilowatt. So I'm going to plug this in and then you can just tap my contactless payment. 79p per kilowatt. All right, let's get on with it. Right, plug into my car first. At least it reaches. The guy with the Tesla's now charging. So you got your own network. Stick to your own network. Get off of ours. Taking it up. Right, okay, now we've got to pay. Charger authorization successful. Preparing to charge. We're connecting to your vehicle now. Okay, this is where they're probably taking all your data from your car, downloading how many or uploading how many miles you've done. We're connecting to your vehicle now, preparing to charge. Could have filled up my tank by now. Preparing to charge, connecting to your vehicle. Ah, here we go. Charging using 100% net zero energy. Liar! Anyway, 24% charged, 67, what are we at? How many kilowatts? Here, have a look. Right, so it's 8:20. I'm going to go in, get a coffee, maybe have a little donut, a little Krispy Kreme, and then we'll get on our way. See how long we're... Hopefully it won't take too long, because they are high-powered ones. There's some lower-powered ones over there as well. Right, onwards, my friends. So that's interesting. The Tesla driver there was trying to charge up on 2 of the chargers, got back in his car, was messing around on his phone, and then drove off. Didn't even charge his car, which is a bit odd, strange. Don't know what was going on there. What would have been going on there? Why just pull up, try and charge, and then leave? There you go, medium power ones, but we want high power. Not a whole lot of choice left. One chocolate sprinkle that's dented, and a few Biscoff. Got to be a Biscoff, hasn't it? Right, so I've got my Krispy Kreme and I've got my Costa coffee. Now the Krispy Kreme was £3.10 and the Costa coffee £4.40, so you need to add this onto the cost of charging your car. And also that what winds me up is on both of the times that I paid contactless there, it said round up for charity each time, yes or no. That puts you in a little bit of an awkward predicament, because if you press no, I don't know, is it just me? I feel a little bit awkward. I already give to charity out of my direct debit each month, so I don't want to be giving to charity each time. I don't know, is that just me? Anyway, I'm going to open up the Porsche app and see what charge we've got in and how long it's going to take. Hopefully not too long, because I need to get back on the road again. Right, well, to say this is a fast charger, it's not charging very fast, so, and I need to get on my way, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably give it another 20 minutes and see how it goes, and then we might just have to get on the road and try and find another charger. I don't know why is it not charging that fast. I'll have to go out and check it in a minute. Why do YouTubers carry the coffee like that and film it? It's off their heads, aren't they? Mind you, so are EV owners. Right, come round this side. Ah, there you are. Right, so been reading a few news stories right now. I don't know whether I can verify any of this information, but for instance, one here on dailymail.co.uk, it says, is this the end of the EV as Tesla and BYD's car sales plummet and Apple pulls the plug on its e-car project? Has the boom in electric vehicles finally short-circuited? See what you did there, Daily Mail? Short-circuited, eh? Shocking headline, shocking. I mean, you can Google this and read it yourself, but there's loads and loads of stuff on here. Basically, Tesla stock, here another one in Auto Express. Tesla stock price tumble as Elon Musk's EV firm sees the worst sales since 2022. Tesla's reported its first year-on-year drop in sales since 2020, with stock prices dropping as much as 5% as a result. I've sort of like bookmarked all these. And then also I read an interesting thing here regarding charging at home, etc. And it says, this is quite interesting, to be fair. Cookies, go away. Do you know what, EU, if you're watching, who thought that cookies was a good idea? Was that the same person that thought electric cars was a good idea? Cookies. Everybody just goes, yeah, just accept. Nobody cares. Electric vehicles are becoming more mainstream with each passing day, which is great news for the environment and our wallets, is it? With governments around the world incentivizing EV cars, now is the perfect time to make the switch to an electric vehicle. Really? Who's wrote this? It says, however, there are still a few roadblocks to navigate, particularly when it comes to charging. One of the most commonly asked questions is about the difference in VAT between at home and public charging. Now, it says, we'll answer that question and help you understand. Charging at home, charging an electric vehicle at home is the most convenient and most cost-effective option. It is cheaper to charge at home. In the UK, electricity is taxed and at a reduced rate of 5%, which means you will only have to pay 5% VAT on the electricity that you use at home. Now, public chargers here, like I'm using here, can vary in terms of VAT. If you charge at a public charger with a paid tariff, you are likely to incur a VAT at the standard rate of 20%. So basically, I'm not going to read all of this. So that's the difference between charging at home and charging on a public charger. You're incurring the VAT. So if you charge at home, you're getting a lower rate of VAT. For now, that is, for now. Because I tell you, they will, if everybody goes electric, they will change that because they're going to want their tax, aren't they? Anyway, do you know what? We're at 73% and now we are at 8:47 in the morning now. So how long have we been charging for? Let's have a look. Nearly about half an hour for a guess. I reckon I need to get back on the road and then charge again up there, because we only need to charge to 80%. Never charge over 80% because then it goes slower, and don't let it go below 20%. So you've basically only got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, I can't believe I'm counting on my fingers. You've only got about 60% of charge that you can actually use. So the rest of the battery it's just pointless, isn't it? just fill your tank up to the top and go. Right, well, I'm going to stop charging now because I've got about, I think I've got just about enough, and I can always put a little bit more in at Porsche Lakeland if I've got South Lakeland. So I'm going to press stop there. There we go, 76%. I've been charging for 30 minutes, so that's half an hour wasted. How much does that cost? Total cost is shown on your payment terminal. £35.44p. £35.44? How much, as they say up here? Let's get this thing unplugged and get back on the road again. Onwards. Gets harder and harder to get in and out of the car the older I get. Sound like my dad. He used to go, oh, whew, God blimey. Right, I used to ask him why he was moaning. Anyway, come on. Onwards, my friends. There you go, smart motorway. Take away the hard shoulder. What a brilliant idea that was.
One of us. One of us.
Tesla. Oh, they're the worst ones as well, aren't they? Them ones that are really tall. They look awful. In fact, even from the back, it looks like Elon Musk, doesn't it? Oh, they look awful. Who actually do you know what? The people that say you should have got a Tesla, good grief. You need to go to Specsavers because they look dreadful. I mean, I've said before, they look like a Chamford Smartie. They look like an aerodynamic suppository. It looks awful. Good grief. You need to... You've got no fashion sense, have you? No style. Good grief. Awful. In fact, Tesla owners, I can guarantee you probably go to sort of like meetings where you sit and reminisce about BlackBerry phones that you once owned whilst sucking on a fisherman's friend. And by the way, just for the algorithms, because it's a family channel, a fisherman's friend is a cough sweet that originated, and I believe is still made in Fleetwood, which is near Blackpool, because I've seen the fisherman's friends. They have them in America as well. I was actually quite proud. Picked them up, looked on the back and went, oh look, made in Fleetwood. So a fisherman's friend is a cough sweet. There we go. That's for all the young whiz kids who don't know what one is. Packet of fisherman's friends. They do them in different flavours now as well. However, it's got to be the original, which is foul, tastes awful, but it does get rid of your cough. Hey, and by the way, if you're going to slate me in the comment section down below, right, if you're from Scotland, I'm going to report you. I'm going to have you done 7 years in prison. I'm going to report you 7 years in prison if you call me names in the comment section. Hey, if you're from Scotland, think about that. He called me a name. He called me a name. You know what? What's happened to people these days? My mum used to say, sticks and stones. Get on with it, lad. Ignore them. Call me what you like. I don't care. In fact, call me names in the comment section. It pushes the algorithms. YouTube sees that the algorithms are working, etc. because people are commenting. Call me a buffoon. Call me a prat. Call me a pillock. Call me a knob. Call me whatever you want. By the way, I've been trying to change the heating in here to get the vents to blow more onto the window than into my face. Now, I've done a video on this. I'm not going to show you now, obviously, but I have to go into the settings on here. You know, like a normal car, I don't know whether you saw this video. In fact, I'll put the video at the end as a link, and also down below and up here as well somewhere, right? But basically, I did a video where you have to go into the settings on here to change the direction of where the air blows. You can't just get hold of, you know, like you have a little fan blower and you just have a little thing and you just move it to change it where you want, you know, the fan vents. You can't do that. These don't move in here. You've got to go into an iPad setting, take your eyes off the road down to here, really have a look and go into 3 different menu settings to change where you want the direction of the air to blow in your car. Now, you can't talk on a mobile phone, you can't hold a mobile phone, but legally I can take my eyes off the road now, go into the settings here, look down at these screens that are here like a big iPad, and go in and change where I want the air vent setting, rather than just moving my hand to the air vent and putting it and pointing it where I want. You can't do that. You have to go into a screen. Strange, isn't it? Eh? Weird. Anyway, onwards, my friends. Did you see that there? The car in the last clip? That's a Ford Mustang. The electric Ford Mustang. Right, and I've said this before, but for the people that haven't seen it, right, who designed that and thought, yeah, iconic, let's make it look crap now as an electric car? It looks nothing like a Ford Mustang, does it? The Ford Mustang, the original ones, were sexy. They were gorgeous. That thing looks like, I mean, I've picked better looking bogies out my nose than that. It's, what? Oh no, good grief. What's going on with design now? Answer me this question, right? I'm trying to think. You think, you know, your mind wanders off a little bit. Don't worry, my eyes are on the road though. You know, in Scotland, this law in Scotland, right, where you can't call anybody names or whatever, right? So if I went up to, would this be illegal? Would I be put in prison for this, right? Answer me this in the comment section. So if I went up to Scotland and I saw somebody with an electric car, for instance, right, in a pub, I'm stood there, we're having a pint, and I said to the guy, you know, we're not being abusive or whatever, right? Well, we're not physically abusive, but I'm just verbally abusive. I'm going, and I say to him, what have you got? And he goes, I've got a Tesla. And I said, do you know what? You Tesla owners, you all smell of gone off 4-day urine, and you look like gorillas, and you wear blue nylon underpants and have a dummy in your mouth and shout for your mummy and call him a name, you know, or whatever, and just say, you know, can I then get put in prison for that? Is that illegal? Let me know, people of Scotland or people that know the answer. And then if he goes off to the police and goes, he said I smell of wee because I drive a Tesla and I look like a gorilla and it's offended me. I feel terrible now. I can't handle it. Can I get put in prison for that? I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? It's nuts, isn't it? Eh? It's crackers. Let me know or is that just an extreme case? I mean, surely it can't be that daft. Let me know it probably can. Let me know in the comment section. I've just thought as well, aren't the Scottish supposed to be tough? They're hard, aren't they? See you, Jimmy, eh? I mean, I'm half Scottish. They're hard. They're supposed to be. The Scottish are tough. They fought for their freedom, and then they're going to get hurt by being called names. Who's running that country? Good grief! I bet the people of Scotland just, I bet you think, what's going on here? And by the way, the great thing is, Morag, if you're watching, right, and we all know who Morag is if you watch the channel, she's Scottish. So, and I do believe that you've gone back to live in Scotland. So be very careful about what names you call me, because I might just report you to your Scottish police. Morag called me a name. What daft laws. Right, let me get over. Blooming egg. Potholes in the road. Now, I know this Scotland law has nothing to do with electric cars, however, and this video is about electric cars, however, it does in a way, because I've said that electric cars are taking away our freedom of movement. But with Scotland, they're taking away your freedom of speech. Now, from a country like Scotland, that I love, by the way, I love the Scottish, I love Scotland. You fought for your freedom. William Wallace, wasn't it? Free, you know, you can take away whatever, but you can't take away our freedom.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
And yet you're allowing somebody to take away your freedom of speech. Isn't it time that we stood up and said, no more? Really? It's time that we stood up and said, no more. I mean, where does that law... You can get put in jail for calling somebody a name. I mean, it's daft. And how does it work? Have you got to be in Scotland? Have you got to be Scottish? I mean, if I said, now, while I'm in England, that the guy who thought up that law is a haggis-eating wombat with a todger that resembles the Loch Ness Monster, then can I, actually that's a compliment, isn't it, if your todger's like the Loch Ness Monster? Well, you know what I mean. Then can I get done for that being in England? Or would I get done for that being in Scotland? How does it work? I mean, where's the line? You know, and where is it? Well, if you say something for comedy and, you know, as a joke, but then they take it the wrong way. The world's gone mad, hasn't it? Do you know what? If my mum and dad came back on the earth now, I don't think they'd want to be here. I think they lived the best. I think they lived the best parts of the best years of their life, I think they went through it. And my mum used to say, because she went through World War II, and she said that, I mean, obviously there was bad parts of that, but she enjoyed the camaraderie, and she said that was, funnily enough, she said it was the best times of her life. I never understood that personally, because I thought, well, it's a war, you don't want that. But I think it's the camaraderie. But now, I mean, I look back at the 80s, and you know, I was born 69, but the era that was the best for me was the 80s I grew up in. And I left school in 86, and then I joined the local newspaper, and that was the best times of my life when I worked for the Chad. And it was great, and you had freedom of speech, and you didn't have, and I think the internet has got a lot to answer for, hasn't it, really? I think it's been used for the wrong reasons, and now they're trying to stop. I don't know, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, you know what I mean. I just think the world we're not in a good place at the moment, personally, and that's why I like to just make videos and try and make people smile a little bit. And you can call me a Victor Meldrew of the EV world, but let's be honest, I'm just telling you my opinion, and electric cars are a load of garbage. I mean, if I said that in Scotland, would I get done by the motor manufacturers for hurting their feelings? Anyway, onwards.
One of us. One of us.
You know, freedom is all about choice, isn't it? And having the freedom to do what you want, and you can have the choice of what you want. So, you know, I say electric cars are not the future, and if you want an electric car, I've said this before, you should be able to have an electric car. Go out and buy an electric car if you want one. You know, they're great to pootle around to the shops and stuff, but you're having the choice of having a petrol car taken away from you from 2035. Yes, you can go out and buy a used one, unless they make up some law that you can't, which I'm sure they will. They'll bring in some scrappage scheme that older petrol cars are not allowed. So you're having the choice taken away from you. And it's the same with cash and cards and contactless payments. Now, I like paying contactless because it is easy, it's simple, and it's straightforward, and I don't have to have loads of coins in my pocket. However, do I think that there should be no cash payments? Absolutely not. They should be cash payments, card payments. Now, you'll see a lot of places now and shops cash only. You'll see a lot of shops saying card only. And there's more and more places now that are card only than there are cash only. I've been into loads of restaurants, and it's since, if you've noticed, since, I can't say this, I don't think, on camera, but it's since what happened, you know, a couple of years ago, there's more and more. There's an Ionic on the back of a pickup truck here. Obviously it's broke down, but there's more and more places we're having the choice taken away from us, and that's what I mean. We need choice. If you want to pay cash or card, choice. If you want an electric car or petrol, choice. Have a look at the Ionic. It's obviously broke down. A chronic Ionic. Hey, what happens as well if you're Scottish and you've got Tourette syndrome?
Fart, dildo, big titties.
Hey, let's put the top up. I'll put on the air conditioning.
How does that work? Well, they get put in prison as well for calling somebody a name. Have they thought about that? I bet they haven't thought about all these little caveats, have they? Anyway, 43%, 98 miles of range, 12 minutes past 10, 41 miles to the destination. So I might just put a little bit of charge in if I'm going past Porsche South Lakeland, because the charge there is, it's not actually quite as subsidised as Ionity. Ionity is really, really well priced. I think that's something like 28 pence a kilowatt or something. But Porsche here, not sure what it is per kilowatt actually. It's supposed to be subsidised. Oh, we'll find out anyway. It's fast charging, and I get a free coffee and some biscuits and crisps and snacks and fizzy water and pop. Pocket full. I get my coat on and stick loads in my pockets. Or would that be theft? That would be theft, I guess, wouldn't it? Unless I tell them, taking all these, you know, I mean, I paid 120 grand for my car, and you still owe me 400 odd quid for my power steering, electronic steering column that I didn't get. Then you told me I was going to get some money back on. Anyway, that's controversial. So we've just gone over the, it always makes me smile, we've just gone over the River Loon there. And when I used to come up to the Lake District with my mum and dad, every time we went over there, my dad would say, without fail, named after you, that is, you loon. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. He was probably right. Right, here we are, Porsche South Lakeland. Right, milk float off. Let's get this charged up, and then we'll go inside and have a look what cars they've got and have a little snackette, I think. It's not free, is it? Fooling myself. Right, so I've got my Porsche charging card here, so I just use this and it goes to my account and I get invoiced at the end, but I can tell you how much it's cost me. Authentication successful. Let's plug it in. Right, here we go. Plug it in. Right, it is 10:31 by the way. Just to get your clocks out, let's see how long this is going to take. Right, charging in process. So, what have we got here? 34% at the moment, 10:32. Charging power 143, 144. Yeah, have a look. Quite fast these are. Right, let's go and have a look what cars they've got. Probably some real ones, hopefully. 911. Right, here we are inside Porsche South Lakes. Now I did call it South Lakeland on a previous video, but it is Porsche South Lakes. Porsche, let's do the posh version of it. Have a look around. I think I'd rather have that baby Porsche than an electric one. At least you wouldn't get range anxiety in that, would you? Right, there you go then. Which one would you have? Which car would you have? They were telling me about the new Taycan, by the way, how fast it is and how mental it is. Anyway, it is now 10:50, so let's go and see what percentage we're up to. Right, 79%. I'm going to stop charging because you stop charging roughly at 80%. So there we go. I'll let you know how much that come to in a minute. But first, here we go. 79. Have a look at this. Right, let's get this unplugged. Come on, get out. Stuck in. I think I have to. There we go. Unlock the car. That's it. And pop this back. Right, I've just had to move my car. Got an Audi charging up there. He probably feels like I do when I'm on a Tesla charger. 350 kilowatt charger. So we've got £20.17, 38.11 kilowatts. Is that cheap? What does that work out per kilowatt then? Anyway, there you go, £20.17. Now, just got a little story for you here that Roger Harris from Australia sent me, and it's a little story where diesel, I said this earlier on, diesel EV charging station at the corner of North West Coastal Highway and Exmouth Road. I'm guessing this is in Australia. 45 degrees when the photo was taken, plus millions of flies. Got to be Australia. Couldn't think of anything worse than dehydrated in the sun for 3 hours whilst the car charges. No solar panels, just a diesel generator delivered by a diesel truck serviced by a tradie in a diesel utility vehicle. I'm not actually against electric vehicles. If you want to pay £40,000 to £100,000 for a small car to drive to work and back, knock yourself out. Where's this lorry going? Here. Reversing to my car. But wanting to mandate it for everyone is so patiently dumb. Where is this guy going? Please don't hit my car. Anyway, so there you go. Getting me a bit uptight there. I'm thinking, crikey, don't hit my car. So there you go. Anyway, that is all from me today. That is the end of the road. And is it the end of the road for electric cars? Well, I think it's coming to the end of the road, isn't it? People are beginning to wake up, and hopefully they'll see the light. Anyway, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, click the little bell for notifications when I upload new videos. Do comment down below, and do please give it a thumbs up and share it to your friends. Let's just spread to the world that electric cars are not the answer. In fact, they're an answer to a problem that doesn't exist. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.